Are we on? Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome to True North. I am your host. I can't get this freaking. I got it. I got it. Hello, stream sticker browser source. I don't know what that means. Again, I'm live. It's real talk all the time. It is. It's what we do here. Real talk all the time. Chat's open. I need more space. Ta-da. Sorry I'm late. I was in a meeting. So what's everybody up to today? I am trying to be healthy. It's not fun. Oh, I'm getting yelled at by everybody and everything. Machines. Medicine machine. I already took my medicine early, so it's yelling at me. It's dose time. No, I already took my dosage. Thank you. All right. So, because me and Erica got to bullshitting so much the other day because we were having fun on Discord because we are so non-techie. What did I get through? Where was I? So the art of letting go, we talked about that, but I only got through like the first page. So there's more to do, right? There's more to do. I turned the heat way down because it's a little warm. I turned it now I'm cold. It's fine. Menopause is a treat. Let me tell you, if you see my face get red and all of a sudden I'm doing this, I'll let you guess what's going on. I will just let you guess because it's been fun. So fun. No, we're talking no covers at night, ceiling fan on. I have a little fan by the bed. I just throw all the covers on Tom. I'm like, here, you can have them because, damn, I'm hot. Okay. So I think we got to, the flight, freeze. That's where we got to. So yep. Rumination, all of that. That's what we were talking about before me and Erica went off on our little tangent and doing all of that stuff, which was fun. Oh, yeah, it was great. We had a good time. Okay, so the psychology of letting go. So if I start over, it should work out really well. I don't. Oh, my forehead looks so big on here. Oh, see? It's the lighting is. Sorry, guys. The lighting is crappy. I'm a perfectionist, if you can't tell. Except for when it comes to me, for some reason. I'll get better. I promise. How's that? All right. The art of letting go. Have you ever had trouble letting something go? Whether it be a past mistake, grudge, or stress, even about the future. If you relate, this is for you. And what does letting go mean? I want to clarify. What I mean by letting go, in psychological terms, letting go often involves acceptance. Accepting what we can't change and releasing our tight grip on certain thoughts, feelings, or outcomes. It's closely tied to concepts like forgiveness, self-compassion, and psychological flexibility. From a more spiritual angle, letting go is about non-attachment, freeing ourselves from clinging to desires or aversions and finding peace with what is. That's a hard one, isn't it? Finding peace with what is. That's hard. It really is. And that's getting highlighted. Think of it as loosening that knot in your chest that's been holding you back. By the end, we'll see how letting go can boost our mental well-being, lighten our physical stress load, and even uplift us. That's what I'm trying to do here. We'll also learn practical methods. Us, meaning you and I, we're doing this together, right? It's always us. Us and we. Okay? Practical methods from meditation and breath work to journaling and reframing our thoughts. So you can actually practice letting go in your daily life. I need to do this more. All right. I'm going to be asking for your input. So if you're there, feel free to drop into the chat. And if not, it's fine. It's fine. If you guys watch this on the recording or even on YouTube, because I post this to YouTube, it's fine. You can still post even on the recording. Just hit a like. That always makes my day, by the way. Or the next day when I go back, and because I'll watch the whole thing over again. Because I like to review what I've done to see where I can improve. That's what I do. So I'll be asking your input and sharing some exercises. All right. So let's talk about the psychology of why we hold on to things and why it's so important and hard to let go. So it's completely normal to form attachments. In fact, our attachments often come from things we truly care about. Our loved ones, our dreams, our identity. Psychologists say attachment is almost the flip side of caring, or valuing something. For example, you care about doing well at work, so you become attached to a project's outcome. Or you care about a relationship, so you cling to it. Attachment itself isn't bad. It's human. The trouble comes when we can't loosen our grip, even after something isn't serving us anymore. If we get stuck obsessing over a past mistake or an old grievance, that attachment can turn into a source of pain. And I think we've all been through this, right? And I think I said this the other day. When we think about something we did, now this is when we think about something we did ourselves, right? When we revisit in our heads something we said that we thought made us sound stupid, or an action that we did that made us, we think, look bad. And we just go over it again and again and again in our heads, and again and again and again and again. And I swear, each time we go over it in our heads, the worse it gets, right? That's how it goes. Because I constantly, especially when I review myself, I'm going, oh my God, I looked like an idiot. Oh my God, I sounded stupid. But you know what? I get on with it because I have to. Or I would sit here and go, oh my God, I look so stupid. Nobody is watching this. Nobody's listening to this. Who cares? Well, somebody does because I still get emails saying thank you. So I'm going to keep doing this because it's worth it. The other part, I guess, is when somebody else says something and we take that something and turn it negative. And then that goes around and around in our brain as well. And how could we have changed their opinion? That's not our job to change their opinion. It's not. You need to let that go. Let it go. I'm not singing the song. It's going to be stuck in my head. I have grandkids. You know what rumination means? And that's the rumination is when you go over and over and over and over. So this rumination just keeps us mentally trapped in the past. Okay? One study described this as lack of psychological detachment and found it contributes to burnout and chronic stress, which I can completely get. So in other words, when we can't mentally let go of this conflict, it exhausts us mentally and physically, because you can't have mental without the physical. From a neuroscience perspective, holding on to emotional pain activates the brain's stress responses. We might get stuck in the fight, flight, freeze loop, where the emotional part of our brain stays on high alert. Meanwhile, the rational part, the prefrontal cortex that could help us let go, is completely bypassed. That's why when we're fixating, it feels so hard to simply decide to drop it. Our brain literally thinks holding on, is protecting us, even when it's actually causing this distress. So psychologists often think letting go with acceptance. I can't read my own stuff. Psychologists often link letting go with acceptance, which makes so much sense. Let's break it out. Breaking out the highlighter. In acceptance and commitment therapy, the ACT therapy that I was talking about the other day, a big goal is to accept thoughts and feelings without getting tangled in them. Accept it. Fine. I accept it. Let it go. Right? Accept it. Let it go. Fine. I accept it. I'm not going to dwell on it. Right? Fine. And that's what you say. Fine. Let it go. Stephen C. Hayes, who developed ACT, emphasizes psychological flexibility. Being able to hold your thoughts a bit more loosely and act according to your values. That's essentially letting go of the struggle with thoughts. We'll practice later. We will practice. So you've also heard the phrase gripping too tight, right? Sometimes we think if we just hold on a little longer or worry a little harder, we can control the outcome. But often that's an illusion of control. Clinging to control can turn into obsession or fixation, which actually limits us. One expert put it as, attachment is the flip side of care, but an over-attachment becomes a cage. It's true. I'm reading a psychological thriller right now that prove it. It's a good book. So why go through the trouble of learning to let go? What's in it for us psychologically? Research has some really encouraging news. Letting go is really good for our mental health. Who knew? Recent studies on non-attachment show it protects us from anxiety, depression, and stress. In a 3-year study, people who cultivated non-attachment were less likely to develop mental health problems. Basically, being able to loosen fixation kept them happier and more resilient. Other research found that non-attachment is linked to higher well-being and even flourishing in life. When we're not obsessively clinging, we tend to ruminate less, feel less resentment, and experience less emotional turmoil. It's like decluttering your mind. Toss out the heavy stuff and you make room for peace. Get rid of it. Is it doing you any good? Is it bringing you any peace? Is it just spinning around? Hey, Jay, what's going on? I saw you a few times on my Facebook and then you disappeared. Every time I tried to answer you, you were gone. How are you doing? Nothing much. I'm back after my 6-month hiatus. We're talking about holding on and learning to let go. So I'm talking, so I just went over, I don't know how long you've been listening. So decluttering your mind was another thing I brought up. If you toss out all the heavy stuff that kind of floats around in our heads that we don't need in there, you know how we go over the past over and over and over and over again on how we could have done stuff different? We need to get rid of that stuff. Yes, it needs to go, right? And make room for peace, because we need more peace in our brains because there's way too much going on. We need peace, man. I know I do. I need to let go of the past. I need to let go. I need to stop judging myself. I need to let go. So mindfulness experts, like myself, say letting go is the key mechanism behind mindfulness meditation, which is true. And mindfulness is openly aware of the present, which is something I work on all the time. And non-attachment is not trying to control what arises in that awareness. When you have an attachment problem, it's you trying to control everything, including those negative thoughts in your head. You get attached to those thoughts and you become comfortable in those thoughts. Because if you don't have something to dwell on, then what do you got? What are you going to bitch about? What are you going to complain about if you don't have those thoughts to dwell on, right? You got to let it go. because an over attachment to those thoughts becomes a cage. And you don't have any peace when you live in that cage. So it makes a lot of sense. And the physical aspect, and I've always said, I know you've listened to me for quite a while, you cannot have physical health without mental health, and you can't have mental health without physical health. You know, it's very hard to have both. Psychologically, letting go means less emotional baggage and more flexibility. And if you have that flexibility, instead of being stuck in the past or fixated on fears, you become more present and adaptable. And you are such a happier person when you are this way. You kind of let go of the constant judgment and worries and the judgments that you put on yourself, not the judgments of other people, but the judgments that you put on yourself. And you tend to respond to challenges Am I still on? Am I still here? I said I got disconnected, but then I was back. Okay. It said my OBS was disconnected. I'm like, what is going on? Oh my goodness. Ugh. I mean, I don't mind talking to myself. I do it all the time. Lord. All right. So did you get all of that? Which is, I mean, fine if you didn't, but mindfulness does improve our mood. Okay, good. That's good. All right. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Okay. So to continue on, we're going to move onto the physical effects of all this because, like I said, it's not all in your head. Oh. Good Lord. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about how holding on to stress and anger or guilt can impact our bodies and how letting it go can help heal those effects. And this is where the mind and the body meet. Okay? So I think we've all said, or at least have heard, this stress is killing me, right? Well, chronic stress does take a toll on the body. When we hold on to negative emotions like anger or prolonged stress, our body stays in a state of high alert. It's like an alarm that can never turn off. Chronic anger, for example, keeps us in fight or flight mode, raising our heart rate, blood pressure, even messing with our immune system. Dr. Karen Schwartz from Johns Hopkins Hospital explains that this constant stress response can increase the risk of health issues such as heart disease, diabetes, and depression. Basically, the body interprets long-held anger or anxiety as a threat, and it wears us down over time. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So you might be wondering, what does holding on feel like physically? Well, a lot of the time it shows up as typical stress symptoms. For instance, unresolved guilt or worry can lead to muscle tension. Oh, you feel it up here in your shoulders, right? fatigue, insomnia, stomach issues. Oh, you get that stress gut. Oh, ever had a guilty conscience that literally kept you up at night or gave you a knot in your stomach? That's the mind-body connection in action. Medical experts note that emotions we don't release can get embodied. Tension in our neck and shoulders, headaches, chest tightness, you name it. One health article said emotions can be trapped in the body, manifesting as persistent physical pain or tension until we find a way to release them. This is important stuff. So, let me do this real quick. The glass of water test. Of course, mine's a mason jar because we're redneck as hell. It's fine. So the glass of water test. How heavy do you think this glass of water is? 8 ounces, 12 ounces? Maybe, if that. Not really. Just a few ounces. It's not that heavy. So, if I put water in it, it'd be a little heavier. So, it's not about the weight. If I hold it for just a minute, it doesn't, it's not a big deal. If I hold it for an hour, it's going to start getting heavy, right? My arm's going to start to hurt. If I hold it all day, my arm's going to go numb and I'm going to be in serious pain. The weight of this glass does not change. But the longer I hold on to it, the heavier it feels. Right? So the longer we hold on to stress, the heavier the burden it becomes. So what do? We put the glass down. You guys always need to remember to put the glass down. So the point with that is the stress and worries of life are like that glass. Think about a problem briefly. Nothing bad happens. Think about it for hours. You start to hurt. Carry it with you constantly. You feel paralyzed by it. Always remember to put the glass down. Give yourself a break from your worries. Let them go. Even if it's just for a little while. If we don't, the weight can literally break us down. So science backs this up too. So unreleased stress hormones like cortisol can do things like raise your blood pressure and suppress your immune system. But when we let go and relax, our bodies have a chance to recover. There was even a study where people who practice a brief mindful letting go after a stressor had a faster drop in cortisol than those who didn't. They literally returned to a calm baseline more quickly. So letting go isn't just a nice idea. It causes measurable changes like lowering stress hormones and calming the nervous system. Stress does that much to our bodies. Between containing stress and letting stress go. It's measurable. So the health benefits of letting stress go. One of the most dramatic examples of letting go, helping the body, is forgiveness. God knows, I know how hard this is. But forgiveness is basically letting go of anger and resentment towards someone who hurt you. And it turns out it can have huge health payoffs. Now, I did a lot of research for this. This is, I think, 12 pages of research I did. I did a lot of research between Johns Hopkins. I can't even remember all the doctors I looked up through this. I did a lot because I wanted the medical advice and I wanted the psychological advice and psychiatry advice because I don't want to mess around with you guys. I want you to get the truth from me. So I did a lot of work on this. And forgiveness is rough, but according to research compiled by Johns Hopkins, people who forgive have lower risk of heart attack, lower blood pressure, better cholesterol levels, and they sleep better. Letting go of a grudge can literally be heart healthy. On the flip side, those who hold on to grudges are more prone to anxiety, depression, and even PTSD. Harvard Health, that was the other one, also knows that holding on to anger or hurt leads to more stress and higher hostility, whereas practicing forgiveness boosts your overall satisfaction with life. To put it simply, chronic emotional distress equals chronic physical stress, but releasing that distress equals physical relief. It's something to think about, isn't it, Bones? I know it's not easy to do. I had some grudges that I was hanging on to. And I just had to let it go. For my health. I had too much going on up here that was making me sick in here. I had to let it go. And these were lifelong grudges. Lifelong, not even grudge, lifelong hurts. Hurts that I had to let go of. You know, not even grudges, really. Just things that I had to forgive. That I didn't even physically say, I forgive you. I just, to myself, within myself, had to forgive these people. I didn't tell them I forgave them. I just, to myself, had to, okay, I forgive them for what happened. And I had to let it go. So Harvard Health also knows that holding on to anger or hurt leads to more stress and higher hostility, whereas practicing forgiveness boosts your overall satisfaction with life. And that, I can tell you right now, that is so true. You get rid of all that hurt, that anger, and you feel so much lighter. It just releases you. The bonds are broken. It releases you. When you forgive or accept something, you're telling your body it's okay to calm down now. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, your muscles relax. Some of you, yep. And this is me. Describe the forgiveness as feeling lighter. You feel a weight off of your chest. And that's how it was for me. And the spiritual perspective on letting go. There's one spiritual tradition synonymous with letting go, Buddhism. I love this. The Buddha taught if there's one spiritual tradition, that attachment is the root of suffering. This doesn't mean we shouldn't love or care. It means clinging tightly to material things, to people, or even to our views and expectations inevitably leads to dissatisfaction because everything in life is impermanent. The Buddha people, the people that believe in Buddhism, aren't materialistic at all. Everything changes, nothing lasts forever. When we accept impermanence, we can let experiences come and go without clinging. One of the core Buddhist principles is non attachment, or sometimes called detachment. Non attachment is about engaging with life fully, but without holding on too tightly to outcomes. So it's whatever happens, happens. You can't control it. You go with the flow. A Buddhist text, The Four Noble Truths, explicitly says life has suffering. The cause of suffering is attachment. And if we let go of attachment, we can be free of suffering. The path to achieve that involves practices like mindfulness and meditation, which cultivate an attitude of letting thoughts and desires pass like clouds in the sky. You just got to let it go. I am not that strong yet, but I'm getting there. Ooh, this seems so low. All right, honey. Well, it's good to see you. Bye, sweetheart. Sweetheart. All right, I'm going to continue on with Taoism or Daoism, an ancient Chinese philosophy. Letting go is reflected in the concept of Wu Wei, which means non action or effortless action. It doesn't literally mean do nothing, it means don't force things. Align with the natural flow of life. A Taoist sage, I can't do these names, Lao Tzu, taught that by letting go of our constant strivings and resistance, we harmonize with the Tao, the way of nature. It's a bit like swimming with the current rather than against it. When we practice Wu Wei, we're not paralyzed, we're simply free from the need to control everything. We respond spontaneously and naturally. This is another flavor of spiritual letting go, trusting the flow of life. Taoism suggests that by yielding and releasing attachments to the specific outcomes, we actually find greater power and peace. We're simply free from the need to control everything. That is worthy. See, I do everything live right in front of you guys. I do all of my research, but then when I go back through and I do all this live for you guys, this is when I go through with the fine, it's a fine tip. Bing. And it goes right back in the mason jar. So, and then there's let go and let God. So in many theistic spiritual traditions like Christianity, you'll hear the phrase let go and let God. This means surrendering your worries or things you can't control to a higher power's care. It's an act of faith and trust. For example, in Christianity, forgiveness, and surrender are virtues. Believers are encouraged to forgive others and cast their burdens to God, believing that will bring inner peace. The idea is that by relinquishing our need to judge or avenge, we make room for divine grace and personal healing. Even if you're not religious, there's something universally relieving about the idea of surrender, recognizing something is bigger than us and we don't have to carry the whole world on our shoulders. That is true. That is true. Mindfulness in the present moment. I have a big flower next to that. So that word. Mindfulness and spirituality. We'll go mindfulness. In mindfulness practice, which can be secular or spiritual, one of the foundational attitudes is letting go. As mindfulness teacher Jon Kabat-Zinn puts it, you let go of attachment to thoughts that come up during meditation instead of chasing them. See, I have a hard time meditating sometimes because the thoughts just won't leave. There's so much. Sometimes I have a lot going on. And I tend to chase them sometimes. So I need to work harder on that. I've been doing a lot of musical meditation lately. And it's not animal sounds, but it's wild sounds. It's really neat. I'll have to play it sometime on here. It's really cool. And it helps train my mind to relax and let go of thoughts. It's so neat. The music is it's a lower hum and it's so cool. It's just like, and you're just like, okay, I can do this. And everything just goes away. And it's just, I love it. I can't stay in there doing it too long because I'll conk. I'll be out. It'll be done. It'll be over. Okay, so to repeat, you let go of attachment to thoughts that come up during meditation instead of chasing them, which is highlighted. You also cultivate non-judgment, which is a form of letting go of harsh reactions. By repeatedly observing thoughts or feelings and then gently releasing them, we train our mind to not grab onto everything so tightly. This is essentially a spiritual exercise in non-attachment. Over time, it can give us a tremendous sense of freedom. We learn that we are not our thoughts. We can allow experiences to arise and pass without being yanked around by them. Yup. We learn that we are not our thoughts, and we can allow experiences to arise and pass without being yanked around by them. Many spiritual teachers talk about ego as well. The part of us that clings to identity, pride, and I, me, mine. Letting go spiritually often means loosening the ego's grip. Oof. Eckhart Tolle, a well-known spiritual author, says sometimes letting things go is an act of far greater power than defending or hanging on. Indeed, letting go of egoic grudges or the need to always be right can feel empowering. It frees up energy to be present and compassionate. Oof. These are big things. Seriously. Like that whole thing. Oh, so this one people can get behind. If you want a fun pop culture reference, remember Elsa from Disney's Frozen and her iconic song, Let It Go? I'm not the only one that has it in their head. It's literally about releasing the fear and restraints that kept her prisoner. She was trying so hard to be the good girl and hide her true self that she was miserable. When she finally belts out, "Let it go," she embraces who she is and finds her power. It's a great example of how letting go, in her case, of others' expectations and her own self judgment leads to personal transformation. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sing. I forgot I put that in there. But it's true, right? It's a catchy song. And it's not the kids that were just singing it. Us parents and grandparents were singing it too. It's my granddaughter Aubrey's, one of her favorite songs. It's catchy as hell. So whether Buddhism, non-attachment, Taoism, flow prayer and surrender, or mindfulness practice, the spiritual message is remarkably similar. We find freedom when we release our tight hold on things. So true. Suffering lessens, inner peace grows. As one Buddhist monk told a traveler, life's happiness often slips away when we're grasping too tightly, but if we let go, we can catch the shiny moments of joy in our periphery. That's lovely. Okay, up next, we're going to get practical. Learn how to do it with some method. Oh, all right, let's get practical. Let's get practical. I'm going over 4 powerful meditation, breathwork, journaling, and cognitive reframing. All right. Meditation. Meditation is a classic practice of letting go. Don't worry, you don't need to be a monk or sit cross-legged for hours to benefit. And think you don't. You don't. Even a few minutes of mindfulness meditation can help train your brain to release attachments. How meditation helps. In mindfulness meditation, you can typically focus on something like your breath, and inevitably your mind will wander. Maybe you start thinking about what to cook for dinner or recall an awkward memory. Minds are wild. I do that. I recall awkward stuff. Why? Like stuff from high school. Y'all, that was almost 40 years ago. It's 40 years ago. Not quite, but almost. Why do I think about that stuff? Who cares? Good Lord. The moment you notice you've wandered, that's the magic moment. You gently let the thoughts go and return your focus to the present with your breath. You might have to let go of distractions dozens of times. It's me. In a 5-minute meditation. And that's completely normal because my brain just, you guys know this. I have ADHD. I'm on medication. And I'm still, it's crazy. It's crazy. I have to train my brain. But it's worth it. It's worth it. So, yeah. Each time is like a rep at the letting go gym. Over time, you get better at not getting hooked by every thought or emotion that pops up. I am. Uh-oh. Hello? Am I? Am I still here? Hello? Erica? Ooh. Who texted me? Hi. Good morning, Erica. How are you, babe? I think it's just you and me here now. Bones had to go do a raid for somebody. I don't know who else is here. I get lurkers. You're awake? That's good. That's good. I've been awake since 4 o'clock this morning. It's exhausting being me. I was talking about meditation. I'm finishing that letting go packet that I started the other day before we got distracted on Discord. That was so fun. So I was just talking about meditation, which you don't need to do because you just woke up. Did you just wake up or you been... Oh, is it still steaming? Not no. Ooh. Did you get both the vents? The front and the back? That does not taste good. All right, I just want to finish up this letting go. Hey, as long as it works. Why is my phone? Okay. Oh, that's good. All right, let me finish this up. So this probably would have worked for you if you were on earlier about letting go and not holding on to grief and anger and resentment and grudges and stuff. So it works for everybody. and how holding on to things is bad for your health. I should send you a copy of this. Now you need to find peace with what is. I want to talk about reframing. It's changing your perspective. And it's from cognitive behavior therapy, or CBT, which is something you learn when you go to therapy. It's about letting go of unhelpful interpretations and finding a new, more balanced way to see a situation, or changing your thoughts to change how you feel. It's also known as cognitive restructuring. Basically, when something happens, we often tell ourselves a story about it. And sometimes that story causes us unnecessary pain. For example, say a friend didn't text you back. You might automatically think they must be mad at me. I always mess up friendships. That thought will probably make you feel pretty bad. But reframing would be stepping back and challenging the thought. Is there another way to look at this? Maybe your friend is just busy, or maybe it has nothing to do with you at all. By finding a more rational or positive interpretation, like they'll reply when they can, it's nothing personal. You can let go of negative thought spiral and the emotions that fuels. Oh, really? You had a bully? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, they're the worst. But that was their problem. They had a problem. And they made it your problem. When it comes to bullies, it's always something going on in their life, and they take it out on you. Therapists often help clients do this by identifying cognitive distortions, exaggerated or biased thought patterns like catastrophizing black and white thinking, and then questioning them. According to CBT, or cognitive behavior therapy, when you change the way you think, you change the way you feel. Cognitive reframing is an evidence-based technique to reduce stress and anxiety by shifting perspective. It's been shown to help with everything from depression to anger management. One study even suggests that individuals who are better at reappraising situations have higher psychological resilience and well-being over time. Oh, he was just an ass. Or that, sometimes they're just assholes. So here's how you reframe. It's a 3-step approach. So first you catch it. Notice the distressing thought. An example is, I failed at this task, i.e., I'm a failure. The challenge is to ask if it's entirely true, or if there's another way to review it. Did I really fail? What are the facts? Or perhaps I just didn't meet my own high standard, but others still found value. Or maybe this was just a learning experience and I didn't fail. Change is the third. Change means reframe. Replace the thought with a more balanced one. I didn't succeed this time, but I learned something from this and I can improve. This one setback does not define me. So to reframe, you catch, you challenge, and you change. It's just changing your way of thinking about the action. So by doing this, you're letting go of the original and negative thought and the grip it had on your emotions and choosing a thought that leads to a calmer, more hopeful feeling. It's not about false silver linings or denial. It's about accurate thinking. Often our first interpretation is harsher than reality. So an example, think of a recent situation that left you with a negative thought or assumption. Maybe your boss gave you, no, I won't do that one. A friend hasn't been in touch and you thought they don't care about me. Now walk through the steps. Challenge, catch, challenge, change. Well, it had nothing to do with them. That's how that works. By practicing reframing, you train yourself to let go of negative thought patterns that cause unnecessary pain. You're not suppressing the thought, you're transforming it. As a result, emotions like shame, fear, or anger can dissipate more quickly. This is a form of mental letting go that can greatly reduce stress. Cognitive reframing is a skill, and like all of this, it gets better with practice. At first, in the heat of an emotional moment, you might forget to do it, but keep at it. Maybe even journal your thoughts, reframe to reinforce them. I have a little story on here that I put down. It's actually me. For when I was in college. Oh. So a woman in college was obsessed with getting straight A's. One semester she got a B in an important class and it devastated her, and she spiraled into self-criticism. I'm a failure. I'm a failure. I'm a failure. That's all she repeated to herself. It started affecting her other classes and her mental health. After a talk with a campus counselor, she learned about reframing. She worked on letting go of her rigid expectation that she must be perfect. She reframed the situation. One C doesn't define her, and maybe it's a chance to learn balance. She started journaling about her worth beyond grades and practicing gratitude for what she was learning. Slowly, her identity shifted. By graduation, she proudly said, "It's not just a GPA. I'm a whole person with skills and dreams." So I let go of perfectionism as much as I could. I ended up with a 3.9 GPA instead of that 4.0 when I was getting my bachelor's. I had a 4.0 when I got my associates. But it shook me when I got that B. I thought I did so good on that paper. Shook. Yeah. Shook me. My father. I was disappointed in myself, but I was really nervous about what my dad was going to think, and I was so dumb. for being worried about that because my dad was proud of me no matter what. But I think it was because my dad had a 4.0 GPA and he graduated with honors and he was valedictorian. And I just wanted to be like my dad. But I had a 3.9, which is still good. So it was okay. I let it go. And I learned that perfection is not everything. Perfection is sometimes bad for you. Really bad for you. It weighs heavy. Heavy on the brain and can make you sick. Yeah. I let it go. I know it doesn't sound like it right now as I think back on it, but I really did let it go. I swear. So what are you working on this morning besides your dryer? Like the house? Ew. I keep hoping somebody will do that for me. My house isn't that bad. I do have stuff I need to take care of. May exercise a little. I did my exercise this morning. I almost fell on my face. I think I need to do mine sitting down. Oh, Tom's gonna bring down the exercise bench, the weight bench and stuff, because I have a whole gym upstairs. I just can't go upstairs. So upstairs, I have a whole gym. Weight benches. I'm not kidding. Weight benches, bench press, leg press. I have all the dumbbells. I have, oh my God, like the big exercise ball. My yoga mats are upstairs. Everything is upstairs. My yoga ball, my Pilates chair. I have a Pilates chair because I used to do Pilates. I used to be so thin, Erica. I'm not going to dwell. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But I think until I get better balance, I have a full gym upstairs. Full gym. Tom's going to bring some of it down and put it in the dining room so I have access to it. Yeah. Because I used to be before I got into all this stuff, years ago, before I got hurt, I was an armed security agent. And I was a private investigator that was armed all the time. And I served warrants and bonds and all that stuff. And I worked with the police department. So I had to be in shape because I used to have to run after people. It was fun. Tom is a very cool dude. It's a very cool dude. I'm very lucky. Very, very lucky. So this past weekend that we just had, he cleaned the whole kitchen. And I'm talking, girl, he rearranged the kitchen, like the countertops and everything. Like he's like, since I do all the cooking and I do everything in the kitchen, I'm gonna rearrange it the way I want it. And I was like, okay, because I'm like, oh god, it looks so nice. And he like bleached the countertops, bleached the walls. He vacuumed, he mopped. You know, he always does the dishes. But oh my god, my kitchen looks so nice. It's so nice. And then he cleaned the dining room and the living room. The only thing he didn't clean was my office. I was like, I can do the stuff. I just need him to vacuum because I can't walk really well. So it's hard for me to vacuum. So, and there's a lot of clutter in here from when we were moving. I just hide it really well. So he said, as long as I pick up, you know, some of my papers, and I have like 3 computers in here. I don't need 3 computers in here. I did when I was working. But he's like, if you pick up and put your stuff where you want it, I'll come through and dust and vacuum and mop. And I'm like, oh, God, how did I get so lucky? How? I am so lucky. I am so aware. So, oh, this shirt that's really big, I got from Temu. This is shopping therapy right here. It's really cute. It's light. I know it looks like a sweater, but yeah, he's a really sweetheart. This was a Temu shirt. I know. Temu therapy. Oh, he texted me. He had to make sure I drank my shake and my juice. I'm like, oh my God, yes, honey, I did. So you're cleaning and you did the dryer. Did you get the back hose of the dryer? That's important. You could start a fire. Sorry, I had to look at something. You're fine. Do you want to go over to Discord? I can get off of here. I was done with the letting go. You can chat for a bit if you got time. I have time. If you don't have time, it's fine. Okay. I'll meet you there. All right, guys, I'm signing off. I'll see you next time. Bye.